What was the most unforgivable thing your parents have taught you? My parents taught me to rely on religion for everything, but it ended up being my nightmare. I was forced to pray for everything, even when my dad was hurting my mom. I thought it was normal for every household, and most of the time it worked out. The moment I finished my prayer, my dad would be done hitting my mom. But when my younger brother got really sick and started to turn yellow, my parents refused to take him to the hospital because they believed praying was the cure. So the more sick he got, the more we had to pray as a family. But nothing was working, and soon he was coughing up blood, and his eyes turned yellow too. My parents told me that if my brother didn't pray hard enough, he was going to keep getting punished by evil, so he prayed day and night. When he was really at a point where he was fighting between life and death, my parents decided to take him to the hospital. He ended up dying because he got treatment too late, but my parents told me that it was the hospital and modern medicine that took him away from us. So I grew up afraid of doctors. I luckily grew up healthy, but a few years back, I ended up collapsing at work from a sudden migraine that knocked me unconscious. I woke up in recovery and immediately started panicking. I eventually collapsed while working and was brought to the hospital. I woke up in recovery and immediately started panicking. A nurse walked in and greeted me kindly, telling me that treatment was successful. I grabbed her hand, shaking. Without exchanging a word, she sat down beside me and held my hand until I calmed down. She stayed and talked to me about every random thing in the world until a doctor walked in to check on my condition. The nurse left, and I felt pretty panicked again. I asked the doctor to bring her to the room again, and she showed up pretty quickly, staying to keep me more company. I eventually started opening up to her, and we became quite close. I told her how the last time I got checked by a doctor was when they brought in my brother and forced my parents to check on my nutrition too. I explained to her how my body rejects medicine on reflex, except for when I'm around her. She blushed and said that my honesty made her happy. When I finally got released from the hospital, I asked for her cell phone number. We ended up going on several dates before getting together. She taught me more about modern medicine and slowly taught me the truth behind my brother's case, how his jaundice was actually treatable. I felt so angry at my parents, but she taught me to blame the religion, not my parents. It was difficult, but I definitely have started seeing the world differently with her around.